Hello and welcome to this session. Today we are going to cover trigonometry, and in this session we will cover below topics: types of a triangle, Pythagoras theorem and application, area of right angle triangle, how we can find out if there is non-right angle triangle, then how we can use sine and cosine rule in that, and how we can find the area of non-right angle triangle, and few questions related to the bearing. So please share and subscribe Maths and Physics and Travel my channel, and please keep continue to watch this video till the end because there are different type of question I have taken. Okay, so let's start the video. So starting with types of a triangle. So by categorization by side and angles, we have categorized the types of a triangle into two parts. First, with the bisides. There are three types of a triangle bisides. Equilateral triangle, if you see here, equilateral triangle, if all the sides of a triangle are equal, that means this and this, if it all are equal, then we can say equilateral triangle. Okay, so if this and this, if all these are equal, we call it equilateral triangle. Another property is all the angle of a triangle is also equal. That means in this case, this is going to be 60, this is going to be 60, and this is going to be 60. So this is like we can say this is equilateral triangle. Now moving to the isosceles triangle. If a triangle, like suppose if the triangle is A, B and C, if two sides are equal, then we can say it is an isosceles triangle. It is an isosceles triangle. So corresponding angles are also equal for an isosceles triangle. That means angle B is equals to angle C in this case. Okay. Now moving to scalene triangle. If none of the sides are equal of a triangle, if suppose ABC is a triangle, and if like AC is not equal to BC and BC is not equals to AB, in that scenario we can say the triangle is a scalene triangle. Now moving to by angle property, there are three types of a triangle. If a triangle, like suppose consider ABC is a triangle, and if all the sides of a triangle is less than 90 degree, if it is less than 90 degree, that means angle A is less than 90, angle B is less than 90, and angle C is also less than 90 degree, then we can say acute triangle. Okay, now moving to next, right angle triangle. So right angle triangle, if one of the angle of a triangle is 90 degree, like this, if it is 90 degree, we can say this is a right angle triangle. So condition is one angle should equals to the 90 degree. Now obtuse angle triangle, in this case if you see, one angle should be greater than 90. Like it may be 100, 110, 108, 102, anything, but it should be greater than 90. So if any of the angle of a triangle is greater than 90, then we can say it is an obtuse angle triangle. Okay. Now moving to the topic, which is Pythagoras theorem. So basically Pythagoras theorem, when we say, always we first think about the right angle triangle. This is only applicable to the right angle triangle. Okay, so for Pythagoras theorem, suppose this is A, B and C is a right angle triangle where angle B is equals to 90 degree. Opposite to 90 degree is always we say hypotenuse. So opposite to 90 is always going to be hypotenuse, which is denoted by H. Okay, or in this case if you want you can write B or C, anything, but here like we can write here H. Okay, now if suppose we are going to take this angle, consider this angle we are going to take. So adjacent to this angle we call it adjacent. Okay, so this is going to be adjacent. Okay, and this opposite to this angle, whatever the angle we have taken in a triangle, opposite to that angle is known as opposite. So there are the three things which we need to remember. We need to identify what is hypotenuse, adjacent and opposite. Adjacent is always adjacent to the angle. If suppose in another question, if angle A I am going to take, in that scenario adjacent will be AB. Okay, and opposite will be opposite to the angle A, which is BC. So like this way we can change the adjacent and opposite as per the question. Hypotenuse is always going to be equal opposite to the 90. So if we know these three, so there is a relation between the three sides in a Pythagoras theorem. What it states? It states that square of hypotenuse, if suppose opposite I am denoting by, like suppose this is C, I am denoting at this B, and this is what? A. So square of hypotenuse is equals to sum of the square of other two sides. Okay, so that means C square is equals to A square plus B square, or if I am writing here H, opposite is O, and or if you wanted to write here like this way, like AC is your hypotenuse, so square of AC is equals to sum of the square of other two side, which is AB square plus BC square. So this is known as Pythagoras theorem. Now where we can use the application of Pythagoras theorem? So it is used to find the third side of a triangle when any two sides of a triangle are given. If in a question, like suppose I am just taking one example like A, B and C. This is angle at B. Okay, this value is suppose X given, this is value Y. Now they are asking what is the value of this one, right? So in this scenario, if you see the two sides are given and we have to identify the third side, then what we can use here? Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so we will solve few questions based on the Pythagoras theorem, and we'll say how we can identify the values or find the sides using the Pythagoras theorem. Let's take an example, like suppose this is a question where we have A, B, C. I'm just writing here A, B and C. Okay. Now, if it is like given 5 and 12 and they are asking us to identify the value of B, what will be the value of B? Now, in this case, B is what? This is 90 degree. So, B is what? Hypotenuse. Opposite to 90 degree is always hypotenuse. So, in this case, I am going to write here again AC square is equals to AB square plus BC square. Square of the hypotenuse is equals to the sum of the square of other two sides. So in this case, this is going to be B square, and AB in this case, I am going to write here 5 square and BC is 12 square. So B square is nothing but 5 square is 25 plus 12 is 144. So B is equals to, if I put a square on the other side, it will be square root. If I will add these together, 169. 169 is the square root of 169 is 13. So 13 centimeter, if it is unit is centimeter, we can write it 13 centimeter. So like this way, we can identify the value of third side. Okay, like suppose if one question is like this is 5, then this is what 3 and this is what A. Now they are asking us to calculate the value of A. How we can find? Again, we have to do the same thing. Hypotenuse in this case, if it is 90 degree, hypotenuse is going to be 5. So 5 square is equals to A square plus 3 square, right? Square of hypotenuse is equals to sum of the square of other two sides. So hypotenuse in this case is 25 is equals to A square plus 9. 9 we have to shift on the other side. So 25 minus 9 is going to be A square. So A square is going to be 25 minus 9, which is 16, correct? So square root of 16 is nothing but 4. So like this way, we calculated the value of unknown sides. Now third question, let's take an example of third one. Like suppose this is 5, this is 4, and they are asking us to find out C. What is C? So again, we have to use the similar thing. Square of hypotenuse, which is C in this case, is equals to 5 square plus 4 square, right? So C square is equals to 25 plus 16, which is going to be C square is equals to 41, and when we put C square on like square on the other side, it will become square root. So C is equals to square root of 41, which is going to be 6.4 units. Centimeter or meter, whatever the values are given, we can write here. So like this way, we can identify the unknown side by using the Pythagoras theorem. But the condition should be, it should be a 90 degree. Okay, that means it should be a right angle triangle. Okay, now moving to the next question. Area of a right angle triangle. So if suppose this is question like A, B and C, At angle B it is a 90 degree, and we have like this is 5 and this is what 12. And if they ask us to find the area of a triangle, so area of a triangle is always going to be half into base into height. Okay, so always like base is this. If I am going to take this angle, the base is going to be BC and height is going to be AB. If I am, or we can write adjacent and opposite. If I am going to take this angle, the adjacent will be 5 and opposite will be 12, but answer is not going to change, right? So in this scenario we'll write a half into 5 into 12, and we can cancel like 2 into 6 is 12, 6 into 5 is 30 square unit. So like this way we can write the answer of area, we can find the answer of area of a right angle triangle. Now, so now if question is like, suppose if it is not a right angle triangle, if there is no right angle triangle, then, and if we have to identify any sides or the angle, in that scenario we have to use either sine rule or cosine rule. Okay, so let's start with sine rule. What is sine rule, where we can use, and what are the things we need to take care while solving the question for the sine rule. Okay, so now if you see here in this question, in this topic, sine rule, if suppose I am going to write A, this is what B and this is what C. Opposite to B is small b, opposite to C is small c, and opposite to angle A is small a, sides. These are the sides. So it is a relation between the sides and the angle. So A upon sine A is equals to B upon sine B is equals to C upon sine C. That means it is used when we have two angles. Like suppose if angle A is given, okay, angle A is given here, like suppose angle A is some value, angle A is equals to x is given, okay, I am writing here x, and angle B is also given like y, I am just writing x degree and this is what y degree. Two angle is given and angle A corresponding A side is given like p centimeter, and they are asking us identify the value, what will be the AC value, that means B, we have to identify B, what will be the V. So in this scenario, if you see two angle and two sides are coming into the picture, so it is used when either two angles and one side is given and we need to identify the second side, then we can use the sine rule. Or two sides and one angle, if suppose the question is like angle A is given like x, A is equals to p centimeter and B is equals to q centimeter is given. Now they are asking us to identify the value of B. So in this scenario, two sides are given, one angle is given, and that angle opposite sides, angle opposite to any of the two sides are given, then we can use this sine rule. Okay, so hope sine rule is any doubt for sine rule? No, right? Because if we have a relation between two sides and two angle, then we can go ahead and apply the sine rule. Okay, so let's take an example for the sine rule and try to solve few questions based on the sine rule. So if you see this question, and this question is like ABCD is a quadrilateral and ADC is a triangle as well, if you'll see here, right? Now they are saying use sine rule to find the angle CAD. Where is CAD? That means this angle we need to identify. Okay, so this angle we need to identify. How we can identify, or what are the things we need to take care? So let's start with those things. So CAD, so in this scenario if you see, opposite to angle CAD side is given, which is 86, and this angle is given and opposite to side is also given. That means it is a relation between the two sides and the two angle, then we can use a sine rule. Okay, if it is not given to use a sine rule, this way we can identify whether we have to use sine rule or not. So in this scenario we are going to write here using sine rule is what? A upon sine A is equals to B upon sine B is equals to C upon sine C. Okay, so now we are going to use here A upon sine A. So in this scenario I am going to write here CD upon sine angle CAD is equals to AC, this side is AC and angle is what? 116. So I am going to write a sine 116. Like this way we can write here. Okay, Third side is not required because it's a relation between the two, and we already know two sides. Out of two sides, which one is missing we can identify. So we have to just substitute the value and try to solve it. So CD in this case is, if you see 86, I'm going to write here 86 upon, angle is not given, so I'm going to write here sine angle CAD is equals to AC. AC in this case is how much? 132. So I'm going to write a 132 upon sine 116. This is, now we have to identify the value of sine angle CAD. So do cross multiplication. Okay, and if we'll do cross multiplication, 132 into sine angle CAD is equals to 86 into sine 116 will come, right? Now if I will solve this one, sine angle CAD is going to be 86 into sine 116. Use calculator, you will get 0.90 upon 132. Okay, so once we'll solve using the calculator, we're going to get sine CAD is equals to, if we're solving this one, we are going to get 5.586. Okay, so angle CAD is equals to sine inverse of 0.586. If we'll solve, then angle CAD is going to be 35.87, or we can write 35.9 up to 1 decimal if we wanted to write. So this angle CAD, this we calculated, and we can write here angle is 35.9. So this is like how we can use sine rule to solve any question. If you'll have any other question, please share with me. I will try to solve and make a video on that. Okay, now moving to the next rule, which is a cosine rule. So cosine rule is what? It is used when the three sides are given and we need to identify any of the angle, or two sides and one angle are given and need to identify the opposite sides of a given angle. Like suppose example is like A, B and C, I'm going to write this is small a, this is small b, and this is small c. Okay, so if we'll see here, a square is equals to b square plus c square minus 2bc cos a. That means if you see, what are the three things involved? All the three sides are involved and one angle is there, right? So if the relation between the three sides and one angle, then definitely we can go ahead and use cosine rule. Okay, so let's take one example and try to solve this one. Okay, so this is one question where we can see here ABC is a triangle. At A there is a north, 120 is AB, BC is 180 and AC is 150 meter. Now they are asking calculate the angle BAC, that means this angle. Now if you see here, three sides are given and one angle is given, right? So that means here like not two sides or two angles are there, so that's why we cannot use here sine rule. We are going to use here cosine rule because there are three sides. Okay, so if three sides are there, I am going to write what is formula for a square is equals to b square plus c square minus 2bc cos angle A. So cos A is going to be cos A. If I have to find out, I will bring over here and I can rearrange this one and write here b square plus c square minus a square upon 2bc. Okay, now we have to write the value of ABC. This is what A, okay, this is what B, and this is what C. We have value A is 180, B is 150, C is 120. We are going to put all the value over here. Cos A is equals to B. In this case, B is 150. So 150 square plus 120 square minus 180 square upon, now what is BC? So sorry, what is 2BC? 2 into B, B is 150 into 120. Okay, so like this way, now we have to use calculator. When we are using calculator, we are going to get 4500, and 2 into 150 into 120 is going to be 363 times 0. Okay, we can cancel zeros. So A is equals to, I am cos inverse of, if I solve this one, I am going to get 0.125, and answer for this one is 82.82. Up to 1 decimal, if I will write 82.8. So this is my answer. 82.8 degree is the value of angle BAC. We calculated using the cosine rule. Okay, so hope you got the idea how to use cosine rule or when to use cosine rule. And for sine rule also you got the idea, right? When to use and how to use. Now moving to, there are few more topics which we'll cover. So moving to the next one, which is related to the area of non-right angle triangle. So area of non-right angle triangle in this question is, it's a similar same question if you'll see here, but in this question angle ACB is given, which is 30 degree. Okay, angle ACB is 30 degree. So area of non-right angle triangle is always going to be half into A into B. If I am going to take A into B, that means if you see, this is what A, this is what B, okay, and angle is C, right? This, so that's why we are going to use. So half into, always whatever the sides you are going to take, those side, if those sides are making that angle, you have to take that as a C. Okay, so A and B in this case is going to be 180 into 150 into sine 30 degree. Okay, so half into 180 into 150 into sine 30 is going to be half. Okay, cancel it. This is what 90, this is what 75, and we can get the answer like 90 into 75. Okay, we will do, so 9 into 5 is 45, 9 into 7 is 63, plus 467 meter square. Area is always in meters, so that's why meter square. So that's why the answer will be this. Okay, so like this way we can find the value of, or sorry, area of a triangle if this triangle is non-right angle triangle. So moving to bearing, you can check my other videos as well, which I uploaded earlier for the bearing and the sine and cosine rule also. So bearing is nothing but it is the number of degrees in angle measured in clockwise direction. Always we measure in clockwise direction bearing from north of a point. So whenever they say, we have to draw north of that point. Okay, so if like suppose if we have to say bearing of B from A, so this is the angle they are looking. Okay, now let's do question. The bearing of C from A is the bearing of C. That means if they are saying the direction of C, that means first thing is like we have to draw. Okay, oh my bad, one second, let me use eraser and then we will once again try this. Okay, my bad. Okay, so let me draw the north first. Okay, north should be like this. Okay, now we'll solve the question. Okay, now the bearing of C from A is 210 degree. That means the direction of C from A, that means at A we have to draw north and we have to go in a clockwise direction. So this angle is there. If you see, this angle is what? 210. Okay, the bearing is given 210. They are saying find the bearing of B. That means bearing of B, that means direction of B. I have to draw here as well. Okay, so direction of B from A, that means this angle they are looking. From A, that means this, let me highlight with the green one. This angle, our requirement is this angle. Okay, so from the previous question, if you'll see, let me go to the previous one, not here, cosine rule, we calculated the angle for 82.8, right? So you can go ahead and use the same thing to first find this angle, which is 82.8 degree. Okay, now this angle is, we have this angle which is 82.8. Okay, now we have to find, our requirement is this angle. This is nothing but the bearing of B, that means direction of B from A. Okay, so total angle is 210. If you'll see, the bearing of it is given, right? 210 minus, if I will do 82.8, then this will give me this angle, right? This angle, the blue one which I highlighted, which is our requirement, right? So in this case, what we will write, 210 minus 82.8, which is going to be 127.2 degree. So this is nothing but the bearing of B from A. So whenever this kind of question will come, this angle is not given, then we have to identify this angle using sine or cosine rule as per the question. So in this question, we applied the cosine rule earlier and we got the value of angle A, which is 82.8. Now once we got the value of this one, the total angle was given, the bearing of C from A was given 210. If we subtract this angle, we'll get the bearing of, or the direction of B from A, which is our requirement, like this. Now next one, the bearing of A from B. So direction of A from B is nothing but this one. This is our requirement. Always we have to measure in clockwise direction and we have to make a north. Okay, there was no point of taking this one. I thought like maybe we have to involve C as well, but no. So this angle we have to identify. So how we can identify this angle? Simple thing. We have to find out this angle. These two lines are parallel. So co-interior angle will be 180 degree. This angle we already got it, which is 127.2. So this angle we can find out. So 180 minus 127.2 is equals to 52.8. Okay, so this angle we got it, which is 52.8 degree. Now we have to find out this. So complete angle is 360. So 360 minus 52.8, which is going to be 307.2. So like this way, we can identify the bearing of A from B. So bearing, whenever they say, we have to make a north at that point, then we have to measure in a clockwise direction always, and we have to express it always in 3. Okay. So this is like how we can find the bearing question. Okay. So thank you for watching this. In the next video, we'll solve more questions from the past paper. Please do share and subscribe. Let me know if there is anything, any question or any topic in the comment section. I will try to make those videos on this as well. Thank you so much.